to form connections when you can't shake hands. Fortunately, I've got a good connection to the other side.
Covering the world in cable didn't bring an end to Warren's suffering.
So besides The Walking Dead, you have done some substantial voiceover work. You have done Voltron. You've played Frank Castle, The Punisher. What has been your experience doing voiceover performance acting versus what we're going to talk about in a second, a lot of your game work that you've done?
Yeah. What? Getting me dirty? What are you talking about? What's wrong with you? Yeah. Oh, that's a Kojima thing. I never met him. I never met the Konami people. But Hideo's a genius. I mean, he's like another level guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's like, it's because Guillermo del Toro called me and he goes, I'm gonna introduce you to this guy, just say yes. I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, just say yes. And I'm like, are you sure? And Guillermo gave me my SAG card. He gave me my very first acting job. So
you trust him?
I have a soft spot for him, for Guillermo. But he's a genius too. And I can see why those two guys are friends, But the Hideo thing, there's certain directors that see a certain scene a certain way. And if you try to add to it, they like short circuit. They're like, Hideo doesn't do that. He's like, yes, and then let's add this. And you're like, yes, and let's add that. And he's like, yes, and add this on top of that. Like, he's cool. He doesn't freak out. His mind is always going forward. And, it took me 3 years and over 100 sessions of wearing that little blue leotard outfit with all those little balls on me, and you're covered in Velcro, so you're like sticking to everything, and then I'm dancing around with like Mads Mikkelsen and Lea Seydoux, and we have these helmet things and they're banging into each other and all this stuff. But I would do stuff with Hideo, like I'd take a drink of water and I'd wipe it on my sleeve and he'd go, do it again, and he'd roll camera. What is he doing? And then, or I'd scratch my head and he'd go, do that again, but on camera. And I'm talking to him and he goes, I was like, so everyone's gonna play me in the game? And he goes, no, they will be you. And so he has all these little Norman things that Norman does as the character in the game, because he wants you to really feel connected to a character. He doesn't want like just a regular character. He wants you to be emotionally involved in the character. And that's kind of the setup of the game. It's not a kill 'em all game. It's a bring people together game. He's a visionary.
How does it feel to literally? Because that's very true. Because in motion capture, like, it is your face, it is your body, it's your movements, it is your facial expressions. You are literally transposed into a game. How does that feel to know that millions of people are going to be playing basically Norman Reedus in a game with a baby strapped on front of you?
Yeah. I think early on I was like super nervous, like I didn't like my face, or I didn't like my ears, or I didn't like my voice, or I walk funny or something. And I think Walking Dead being such a phenomenon, and I'm out there so much, like I just kind of gave up. I was like who cares, So the video, screw it. And the video game, it's such, like I used to play like Defender, Pac-Man, like this ain't that. You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
No, far
Yeah.
from that.
But it's so realistic, you know, and you know, and you have to understand too. Like I'm doing Walking Dead all the time, and then they're like, "Oh, you're off an episode," and then I'm flying to San Diego, and then crack of dawn, I have all these dots on my face and this outfit, you know, and then they're like, "Okay, and you're gonna race to the airport and go right back to Walking Dead." So I look exhausted like all the time, kind of like I do now, but. If you worry about it, yeah, right. But if you worry about all that stuff, you're not giving an honest performance. You know, like I remember, you know, what do you call those GIFs or GIFs, whatever? Like, and you know, I stabbed Merle in the face. I'm like bawling like a baby, and then all of a sudden, like my cry face is everywhere, and I'm like, what the hell, right? And I'm like, maybe I should just like pose cry from now on and like look cool and cry. But then all the actors would be like, you're posing. So it's like, I gotta pick my battles, you know? So the video game is like super realistic, like, you know?
It's incredible looking at the teasers, looking at the promos, this idea of the supernatural, because while it is a departure from The Walking Dead, you're still kind of dealing with supernatural. You know, a lot of folks, if you do, folks know about Death Stranding? I just wanted to make sure you know we had switched off The Walking Dead.
Dude, he took me to those game awards, and he's like walking downstairs, and the stairs are lighting up as he steps on them, like Michael Jackson, right? And he goes, "I'm back," and like 10,000 screaming males were like, "Ah!" You know, and I'm
He's
like,
a legend.
I'm like, who is this guy? You know? And then walking around Tokyo with him, like, it's nuts. He's the real deal. Yeah.
Well, he is a legend, and now you're kind of a part of this brand new, and so many, as much as people know about the game, they know so little about the game, right?
Yeah.
You're playing Sam Bridges, you're fighting supernatural, you have a baby strapped to you because it helps you figure out when there's supernatural things happening, and you're trying to bring the world together.
You know, it's in a world that's much like today's world, and the idea of touch is kind of something that character can't deal with, and that the baby is a tool. I can see things with the baby, and as the game proceeds, you know, you finally get into it. The idea of touch comes back to Sam, and the idea of caring for this comes back to Sam. So as you as a player play the game, and you're connecting, and you feel the connection, you start to feel human emotion at the same time for the character, as the character, and as you connect with other people in the game. It's a different kind of concept. It's very bold.
What are you most looking forward to fans experiencing in the game?
You're just gonna get lost in this world. It's first off, the graphics are crazy. It's like mind-blowing graphics, but you get emotion. You know that singer Grimes? You know Grimes? Yeah, she's like super smart, right? And Hideo, while we were doing the game, would have all these superstars come just to shake his hand and hang out, and like rock star status. And Grimes I was talking to her about, you know, why she was so into games like this, and she says, well, I read a lot, and it's the combination of being submersed in a game world, but with the story of a really good novel. So it's not a, plug in and just blow everybody away and try to get the biggest score. It's like, it's an experience,
I think that's the thing that so many folks, and honestly, from the folks I've talked to, are looking forward to the game, because there is so much of an in-depth story that folks will get. 2 more questions.
Hit me.
Do you feel like there are similarities between Sam Bridges and Daryl Dixon?
And Daryl? No. Other than it's my face. But not at all. Maybe maybe season 10 Daryl more than season 9 and down. There's a reluctancy, there's like an anti-hero type thing about him. So there is that, but yeah, maybe, yeah, there probably is, yeah. I take it all back, yes. Yes.
I mean, you have made a beautiful career out of being an anti-hero that also establishes this very strong sense of loyalty and sticking to what is right. So that's pretty incredible that you get to continue that into perpetuity in a game. That's pretty awesome.
I've been pretty lucky that, yeah, I guess so.
Aren't made for living alone. They're supposed to come together, to help one another. And if we as a people can't do that, if we can't reconnect,